building program for day 2. So for today, since we had the opportunity to do an in-depth introduction on what SVA is and what it entails and why the need for us to even organize such a program for ourselves, that's students and also professionals. Today, we will just do a brief, we will do something just brief so that our he can take over, then explain to us and also reveal to us what he has for us today. So please, this afternoon, the first thing that we are doing is to just do a recap of what we studied yesterday. So it is so important for us to know and to remember what we did so that we can go ahead and start with something new. Okay, so if perhaps I get to mention your name, you just tell me what you remember from yesterday's conversation or yesterday's lecture. Then I go to the next person. This should be a simple task for all of us. Thank you very much. So, allow me to start from Adolf. So, Adolf, I'm sure yesterday you were around from the start to the end, and there were so many things that you heard, so many things that you jotted down. So, please, in the next 30 seconds, what can you tell us? What can you explain to us? And what did you learn yesterday?
Okay, thank you so much, Sam. So from yesterday's training, I learned there are different types of data in terms of we having tuples, integers, strings, dictionaries, and lists. And the highest point for me was when we use all that we learned, the basics we learned, to create a small program where we ask people their ages and then we had feedbacks from them. So that is just in simple terms what I learned yesterday, actually. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you learned a lot. All right. Good. So Seidu, I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, what did you learn yesterday? What was your highest point? What did you learn yesterday? In the next 30 seconds.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Please, unfortunately, I wasn't online yesterday. I just joined today.
Oh, so, okay. That's fine. So I'm sure Adolf has explained a little to you. And when Engineer Dixon comes back, I'm sure he will do an in-depth recap on what he taught yesterday. Thank you very much. Isabella, I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. Isabella. Wow. Isabella. Okay, Ose Japan. If you can hear me, let me know. What did you learn yesterday?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, yesterday I also learned a lot. I learned about dictionaries, the tuples, and the lists. I learned that the lists are unordered and also mutable. So when it comes to the tuples, they are also immutable and also they are ordered. That means they cannot be changed. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure I'll end with Samuel. So Samuel, concluding it for us, what did you learn yesterday?
Okay, thank you very much. So yesterday I picked up the importance of the dictionaries, how to utilize dictionaries in terms of their key value pairs, and the fact that you have them, you have the key, you have the value, you put them together, and then you have a dictionary. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm so grateful to each one of us for sharing with us what he or she learned yesterday. So without wasting much time, if Engineer Dixon AJ is around, please, you may take over, then we start today's session. So as we discussed the day before yesterday, We are doing this for the first 1 hour, then we take questions, then we come back. So please take notes. Yes.
Hello, Dixon. We can't hear you.
Hello, Dixon. Please, if you can hear me, we are not able to hear anything that you are saying. So please, if you can check your settings or you can check the device for us. All right. So I'm sure he will join us. Yeah, he will join us very soon. He will join us very soon. I can see Fortune on it. Hello, Fortune.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Can you see me too?
Yes,
We can
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I'm very sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. We can see your screen. You can go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. So, quick recap of what we did yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we learned what programming is, and I said it was writing instructions to the computer, so the computer performs some tasks. What the program? Especially the instructions that I write, programming language. I gave a lot of programming language examples, and then we said we're focused on Python. So we went to Python. So what is Python? I even showed you how to install Python, but I'll go through it again today too. And then what's a variable, data types, and then we have keywords. And then I showed you why we can't name some, we can't put some variables can't have some names because they are keywords. So we can't use keywords as function names and identifiers in programs. And these are some of the keywords. Python has reserved these keywords for use in a Python program. So you can use it for stuff like variable names, function names, class names, and all those things. And then print. So I displayed how to use print yesterday too, but we'll do a lot of that today. Input, do a lot of that today too. Input is just a function that takes in data from the user as a string. And we know what a string is. A string is a data type, usually text. And an expression. Expression is just a combination of variables, variables, symbols, math functions, and everything to form a program. So basically, when we're writing programs, they are just writing expressions and then they combine to give a result. And okay, so these are conditionals, and then we have iterations. We have a lot of iterations. We will do a while loop today too. So, and then range. This is also a way of iteration. And I also mentioned some literature they consider a range as a data type, but then it's not. Okay, so functions. So yesterday, this was like through functions. So I'm going to do a little bit about functions, and then we'll delve into what we're going to do today. So what we're going to do today, we are going to create our own form of ChatGPT or our own ChatGPT. So we're going to see how we can interact with the GPT interface through our code. So we will use functions, and I'll talk about it. We'll try and implement our own. But before that, this is just an overview of a function. So yesterday I mentioned a function is like a block of code that does a particular task in a program. So let's say you have a function that calculates the age of a person, or you want to calculate the age of a person, not just one person, but like a lot of people. So if the function calculates the age, and let's say I want to calculate for Amma, I'll use the same function. I want to calculate for Kofi, I'll use the same function. I want to calculate for a different kind of person, I'll use the same function. So with in Python, this is how we declare a function, and the name inside is called an argument. So an argument is what it takes. So let's say I wanted to calculate the age of Amma. So Amma will be my argument right now, and I'll put Amma inside and see whatever happens in the function, calculate the age of Amma. So we'll create our own functions and then we'll see how they work. But then this is like a simple overview. So what the function you're looking at right now, just greet somebody. So it takes the name of a person and then it greets the person. And then this is a class. So a class is like a group of functions. And after I explain a class, I'll mention something called object-oriented programming, which I've already mentioned. So object-oriented programming is a way or a standard of programming where you organize your code into classes and functions. And then when you want to use those functions, you create instances of those classes and then call the functions from there. So if you don't understand, don't so now it's nothing. It's just a way of organizing code. And a class is like a group of functions. So a group of code that does a particular task. So I have a lot of code that like many codes, like many block of codes that do different stuff. And but like they do, let's say, one bigger thing. So one calculate the age of a person, one calculate the height, one calculate the weight, and all those things. If I group all of them, so let's say people functions, then I call it like a class. So this class is for people. Then I'll group. So as you can see in this class block, we have init. The init is it's a reserved function in Python called the initializer. It's also called a constructor. So it's like the function for that class. And the second one, the def, the back, you can create your own functions, you can create names for it. You can put your own names, give your own function names, and you have that freedom. But for the first one, I'll talk about the first function. The first function is the initializer. And this when you call the class and then you create an instance of that class, if you want to, let's say, pass some variables as arguments to the class, not the function, to that actual class, by the help of the initializer, you can do that. So the self to is like, whether I bring the self, I don't bring the self, Python automatically like puts it in. So if I write it or I don't write it, Python does it. So it's more like a self argument, like a personal argument for the back function or any other functions. I want to show you with the talking is. So when I show you the actual code, you get to see some of the questions I get sometimes. So now let's move straight to the code. So like I said, today's agenda, we're going to do ChatGPT. We're going to do the large language model. We are going to interact with it, and then we are going to make it what we want, more like fine tune it, train it to give it some data, make it learn more stuff, and then we tell it to find, hey, what is this? Then you see how it works. So let's move to code. Right. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we did yesterday. And then we create a new one. Okay. So this is an empty. Yesterday, okay, now on this one. This one. Okay, one. Okay. All right. So this is what we did yesterday. We wrote a function like a program that gets the age of the person, and then if the person is either younger or older than 18, depending on whatever input the person brings, you tell the person, hey, you're younger, you're older, or you can pick up, or you can go ask. So this is a program, and I'm going to put all this in a function for you to see. Then we call that function, and you see how the function will run. So, for example, this is, let me just define my function. So in Python, when you're trying to create a function, this is what you do. Start with the def keyword to define the name of the function. The name of the function is check age or something. So check age. So again, I'm using the camel casing method, and the check age will take the age of the person. So it will take the age of the person. So let me say age. So the age is an argument. And continue. Let's say, okay, let's say age. Okay. So we have this, and like I said, I'm going to put all this inside. Okay. It's basically what we did yesterday. I'm just trying to put inside functions so you see how it works. So come on. One function age, answer age. So let's just move. So if I call, let's say, okay, so now it's in a function called check age, right? The whole thing we did yesterday is now in a function called check age. So in Python, I remember I said indentation matters a lot. So if like the spacing between the lines, the spacing from here to here, the spacing from here to here matters a lot. If I bring this print backwards, the program like won't work as I want it to work. So you take your indentation very seriously when you're doing. The ID automatically helps you out. So you just have to just keep writing the code in the way writing. So if I call check age, right, I see my ID is now even highlighting it for me because I've already defined as a function. So now if I do this, okay, if I do this, and then I come and run my program, okay, no. If I run my program, it's still asking me how old am I. Can you see? So I just say 18. Actually, 18. You're legal, you can take alcohol, obviously. So it's the same thing, just that it's now in a function. And I was trying to pass arguments inside this inside the function. So let's say I wanted to do, I'm running out of ideas over here. So if I want the check age to be something else. Okay, so let me do this. Let me see. Okay. So same thing. I'm running out of ideas. If you have ideas, you can text it to me, and I'll implement them right now. Okay, so one usage. So I have age, we get this, and then this function takes also age. Let me just make this one cap so that you can see the difference. Okay, this function takes age, and I'll just call age for age. Do you know what I did? I just did. So what I just did was I passed an argument. So it's the same program, like the output will be the same way the thing will run. But I'm just trying to show you the different ways you can implement. So with what I've done right now, the function check age takes an input. So you can't just call it without the input. It will bring an error. So if I run it, it will, oh, okay. Okay, so there's an error obviously because I didn't pass the argument. So now let me pass the argument. So now check age or check age. And then the age is what the user is trying to bring. So over here. So when I run and I see my age is 45, my function works perfectly now. So the first input takes the age, the next one takes the age, and then what we did yesterday, and now call the function. So this is how we just call functions. And if I want to teach a class too, I just do something like this class. So Python is very, very simple. It's almost follow the same. So class, the name of the class, class, and I could put my functions inside. So I could have one function. Just like I said, anytime you send the function, just function one, and then we'll have what I see. It brought itself automatically. My ID brought itself automatically. So this is put it inside. Then some code will be here. Say blah blah blah. Sorry, keyboard is there. Okay, then I can go to the new function 2. Function 2. Yeah. Then I could just be doing that. So depending on your use case, you're doing stuff like this. You can have 100 functions inside a class, and then anytime you want to use that function, you just you create an instance of that class, and you call that function and all this. So let's get right to where I'm going to do today. We're going to create ChatGPT, right? But first of all, I have to introduce you to OpenAI. So OpenAI, they are the makers of ChatGPT. So there are other models as well. So there's Bard from Google, there's from Anthropic, and then now Musk is also doing one called Grok. And there's Mistral. Yeah, there's a lot of companies trying to do this large animal. Facebook actually done their own large animal. What I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on the one for ChatGPT, OpenAI. So we're going to interact with ChatGPT via the API interface with Python. So I'm going to run you step by step on how to do something like that. In the next session, with what we built, we can fine tune or use whatever we built for a specific use case in Petroleum. So I would want you guys to come up with Petroleum like use cases that we can just use so that we will build it ourselves. So I usually run out of ideas. It's kind of hard for me to come up with something like randomly like that to just do. So if you have ideas on what to use, the code will come up with. Well, how are we going to use it next to Petroleum? I have an idea. I have an idea in my head already, but I would love it to come from you guys. Yeah. So yeah, you get classes, you get functions. We are down. We're going to a new one. So now we're going to make our own ChatGPT. ChatGPT. So by the way, the meaning of the GPT means generative pre-trained transformer, and generative means it comes up with like original content. So it's not just like go pick and then bring it back now. It goes, checks, and then generates and then brings it to you. And then the pre-trained means I've been trained already. I'm pre-trained, like trained already. It comes trained already. And then the transformer is the architecture, like the way that the neural network was built. So the architecture of that type of neural network. I won't take you so much into that, but let me just move on. So before we start, I'd like to introduce you. I want to show you their documentation. So in order for you to use ChatGPT via the API interface, you need to know a little bit about how they build it and how they will allow you to connect. So you're going to connect to them via APIs. And APIs, the meaning of APIs, an application programming interface. So application programming interface. It's in simple terms, it's like making a phone call to somebody. So I just pick my phone and I call somebody. I pass on some information to that person. The person takes the information. The person processes the information. And the person brings me an output to the same route, to the same phone call. So we are going to just do something like that. So before that, we will have to my terminal. So yesterday I mentioned terminal and console. So you can interchange them. So terminal console it's more of it's an interface where you can just interact with your operating system and stuff. But currently I'm interacting with Python. Python is installed on my machine. By installing Python is somewhere on my machine, so I can interact with it via this terminal. So use pip. Pip means a Python installer package. It's a package manager, or it helps you manage your packages. So you can come up with code. If you create something wonderful, you can create a package for that thing. And then how will other developers get to use it? You create a package and then you let them download it. And if it's a Python package, you upload it and then they can use script. So there's a platform, but I think there's a platform you can use for PHP is Composer. Composer, you go to packages.org and then you put your package over there. And then you can. Hello. Hey, someone trying to talk. Okay, I'll go on. So there's a just think of it as PIP. They mean a Python installer package. So it helps you to manage your Python packages. So currently OpenAI, they've created their own package and then we are now we are going to use some libraries from there, from what is written, and then we just move on. So PIP install. So you don't have to really worry about this. This is how it's install. OpenAI. So I've already done this, so probably going to just update. But if you are doing this for the first time, it might take a while. So I'm done. It's just updated for me to see install maybe a lot of stuff and all the things. So once you do this, you've basically downloaded some code on your system. You might not really see it. You can just go and see if you want, and you don't really have to understand what you've done or the code you've got. It's just a way of just imagine you do something and then you made it so simple, like I said, the abstractions I spoke about yesterday. You made it so simple that you don't have to know. You just have to know on higher level, not on the lower level. So you just have to know on a higher level how to interact and manipulate your stuff, like with these things, and then leave all the inside details to like the program itself to do, for the program itself to do. So with this one, basically what we've done is we've downloaded some things on our machine. So we loaded the Open AI library. Everything done. All right. So now we have this. And let me just show you so you can see they've written their own. Can you see my screen? It's my browser now. Can you see my browser?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I think when you go to platform, the OpenAI.com, they have a documentation where you have to read. Obviously, that's it. Okay, so I think documentation. So we're going to create targeted a chat. It's a chat model, chat like back and forth conversation. So let me use API reference. So I remember I told you we are using the API. So what we just did, right? We are using the API to do so. Quick install OpenAI program using Python. If we are using JavaScript, Node.js, this is what we're going to do. npm install. That's the node people, those using JavaScript and the rest. If it's PHP, it's Composer. We don't really have a library in PHP. So this is CRL. CRL is a library that helps you make HTTP requests to anybody. So HTTP request is more like the phone call, like analogy I made. So you can, in any programming language, you can just use this CRL to do. Don't get scared. It's just a library. It's just a way of making phone calls. Applications like these are not human phone calls, it's just one system communicating with another system, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So this is how to do it in any language. So this URL is language independent. So you can use in PHP, you can use Python, you can use anything. But for Python, they've specifically created their own library for Python. That's just what we just installed right now. And this is for one in JavaScript, Node.js, Node.js. So more documentation. Don't get scared. We are just showing what to do because they built it. So what I'm doing right now, yesterday I told you we will call and then it's all day. Well, did someone talk?
No, please.
No, please.
Okay. So
they put the ATS in the
all right, 1 minute. Thank you. So yeah, what was I was running through the documentations. So I'll go straight to the API reference. What did I do? So API reference and then chat. So you get to see So request body. So this is just showing you. Yesterday I showed you. I introduced you to program to Python, how you can like what is what. So in this with this one, it's like you know how to speak, and I'm showing you how to speak like professionally. I'm not teaching you how to speak. I'm teaching how to speak professionally. So you know the syntax, you know what to do. I'm just showing you how to do it. So that's basically what you're doing here. They're just telling you do this, do that. If you want to do chat completion, do this, do that. So there's an object. So this format you see is a JSON. JSON is a JavaScript object notation. It's a way of. See, I remember I told you systems communicate. So my system will communicate with another system, like back and forth, like phone calls. We are using our voices. In applications and systems, they use what we call JSON. And a JSON is like, before I send over my information, I pack them in a way and I transfer them. When it gets to the destination, the one who receives it opens it up and then he moves, he just sees the content and then, okay, I want this, I want that, then we move. So okay. So so JSON is just JavaScript object. This is a way of sending back and forth, like sending data back and forth. I'll show you how we package our JSON, and I'll show you when we receive the JSON. I'll show you how we open it up. So where is it? I'm looking for chats. It's a chat. Right. So you don't need to understand everything here. You really don't need to understand everything. You don't have to understand everything. So I'm over in the chats. So chat. So request to represent the chat completion returned by the model. So this is what I'm supposed to be getting if I do that. And then where is it? Okay, so this is a request body. Okay. So this is what you're interested in. So request body. Okay, a list of messages comprising. Okay, that's great. Okay. So I don't need to know everything. You don't need to specify the max routine. You don't have. So I'm just going to take this Python. This is Python. You can change it to URL. URL is like platform independent, language independent. So with this URL, you can use it in any programming language, PHP, even if you create your own language and you want to use stuff like that, you can do it. So let's just go to the Python. So I'll copy the Python code. I'll explain the code, right? And I'll come to my IDE. I have already done the pip install OpenAI. I didn't remember. Now I just do this. So from OpenAI imports OpenAI. So yesterday I mentioned keywords, right? So keywords in Python. So this is from one of the keywords in Python. This is one of the keywords because I've done the pip install OpenAI. So this is where I'm calling this. Should I call it? They wrote the code, right? So they could make it a class, they could make a function, they could make whatever they want. So it's over here. You read their documentation to know how they did it and then how you're supposed to access everything. It's a lot, like I said, but you don't have to know everything. Where is it? Okay. All right, so this is a code we got from them, but now we have to modify it to what we want. And in order to do something, let me just want to say you see the error. We need an API key. So from OpenAI import OpenAI to the client. So everything OpenAI right now is now in our client variable. So if you want to access anything inside, you can just put a client. So I can just do this. I can just do this, Control C, and then I can just replace the client with OpenAI and everything works fine, right? But then we'll be using this in the code. So much. So we just have to put it inside a variable. You can name it whatever you want. Like I said, like with the exception of keywords. So you can name the client A, client B, client, you can do whatever. So this kind of chat or completion of create. This create is a function they created. So a lot of stuff over here. You see messages, model, everything, all the things like that you can put inside this creates. So they've written it in their documentation. Like I said, you don't have to understand everything. You don't have to get everything. Now let's go on. And model GPT-3.5. So you can specify this 3.5 is the model powering ChatGPT. And then there's GPT-4, that's the premium one. So we'll test with ChatGPT and we'll test with GPT-4 too. So you can specify the model, you can specify messages. You have to, this is kind of very important because you need to tell the model what you're saying. But and then if you remember there are stuff here, max tokens and then the rest. Max tokens. max tokens, choice, user functions. You don't have to specify everything. Top key, you don't have temperature, you don't have to specify all of it. You don't have to. If you want, I click, but then this is enough for now. Then yeah, so you just move ahead and pick a message. You can get in and that's all. And I want to run as you see there, and I'll tell you. So whether it's start okay. So choose back line 3 module API key client option must be set. So what I'm doing is what we are doing right now is it's paid. So in order for you to interface with the API, you need to pay them. So this code should work, but now they require you to pay before it works. So when you pay, they give you something like this. They give you an API key. And how it works, let me show you how to get the API key. How it works is it's like a key, right? A literal key. So they lock the door, you have to open with the key. Now you have to go and get our own key. So you have to log in and sign up. You have to sign up or log in. However, I just continue my video. I'm showing how to get an API key. So you get an API key, you bring the API key, I'll show you how to add that. Okay, so now I'm logged in. Looking at references. Around, you can see here over API keys. You can't see my API keys. You can see the keys I've generated in the past and all those things. So you generate one and you use. And I think payments is based on the model you are using, and then what you are using model for and how often you are using it. And it's postpaid. So more like if I get an API key right now and I start using it right now, I'm not going to pay for it until like the month ends. So I can just use it down and then I'll just cancel it and run away. I have an API key already, but if you want to get an API key, this is what you do. Platform.com/API keys. But then you have to log in to get it. And I'm going to use one of the API keys I generated over here to do. And in order to do that, just enter this thing. And I'm going to copy my API. I'm going to copy my. I think I put it away. I think please someone Adolf, give me the you can see my screen here. I'm looking for my API key.
All right.
I think I put it good. CC. I should do copy it. Give me a minute. So I don't know which one to copy. I need to remember. I think somewhere I can't find it. CC. Okay, so you can just sometime let me just keep putting API key. Yes, so API key equals to whatever we specify. So it's more like random characters. I'm looking for my key and then I can't find it. Give me a minute, I'm trying to put my API key. Or anybody can just generate an API key and send it to him. By drinking API, everything on myself. Copy another one. So when you have an API key, you keep it like it's like keep it with all your like security, because if someone gets it, the person can like, I don't know, the money will finish. So your usage of OpenAI services is tied to the API key. So if you don't use your API key very well, and someone gets rid of it, just somehow they'll be spending your money something like that. So just keep it very well. So I got my API key now, which I'm with. So now this is my API key. So I put it right here. Now this means, so you have a chance to say hello. I just say what is photosynthesis? So something like this, if I just run the model right now, run the code right now, I'm supposed to run. That's the way you're going to figure it out. So you get the first line is from OpenAI, report OpenAI. Then, like I said, I did describe, I could just use the OpenAI like that. I wanted to pass the API key because I ran it and they told me I need to, hey, this is not free, you need to pay for it. So where's the key? So I need to pass my API key inside. If I did this API or something, it's totally wrong. So you need to read their documentation and you need to know how they, like I said, if you are speaking professional, you need to learn how to speak professionally. So you need to know how to communicate with them because they don't just allow anything inside. So you need to know how and how to send your information to them and when the information is on how you process it what you want. So okay. So if you're not getting what I'm saying, you can just take it to me. Alright. Okay. Hi. Someone trying to speak. I'm running the model. I think it worked. So if you can see my response over here. So photosynthesis the process by which plants agree. Can you see? Thumbs up or like hello message coming to see. So wait. So now we're going to make it like back and forth conversations. So before that, I wanted to explain something. So remember, there's a dictionary. Yesterday I mentioned dictionary. There's a dictionary, and this entire thing is a list. And yesterday, Adolf asked if you can put a dictionary inside a list and people inside. You see that kind of. We asked a question like that, and yes, you can. So OpenAI, so before you actually send something, this message to them for them to process. Basically, a dictionary, and a dictionary should be in a list like this. So this is it. So you can ask any question. What is what's education? Education. I'll share this code after the session. I'll put the code on the link, the email to you, and then you can do what you want with it. Play around and see how you can implement your own ChatGPT and that. Like so, yeah, education is the knowledge of. So before that, I'm only interested in the content. Like the whole like so long to the role assistant function. I don't know that. So I only want my message, my content. So I only want this. Yeah. Someone's trying to talk. So I only want the content. So I'll just it's an object. So now when I run the code, I'm just going to get Now, exactly. So I have my this down. Okay, so now let's make a back and forth conversation. So I'm going to add more code based on what we've learned so far, add more code, and then we'll talk to back and forth. Ask the question and be a response, ask the question, be a response. So now we've seen how to send information to the model, and we've seen how to get the information back. So if you want to send anything, you come here, and then we'll get information back, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's do that. So first, we take something from the user. We take a prompt from the user, and then we take it to the model processes it, we get a response, and then we reply to that response. We take it back to the model, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if you remember in the slide, let me show you before I continue. So in the slide, while loops. Yes. So while loop, this is a while loop. We are going to use something like this. So while count is less than 5, do this and then count plus. So this is the while loop. It's a keyword in Python. I have no idea. The creators of Python said, let's name this while. So there is while. And then there's the count. This is a variable you set. And then it's a condition. So from count less than 5, the condition is set. And then print is a function that outputs things to the screen. And then count plus is using your implementation to know when you get to 5. So when you get to 5, the loop will break and then the program will continue. So now let's move to the code. So first of all, we take something from the user. We ask the user, give me something, talk to the model. So first, let me just say, let me so user input, right? Let me just name the user input. So user input, right? And again, so user input will be, so it will be an input from the user. So input function and just that, right? No prompts, just okay. Let me just say user. So and when you get the prompt from the user, what do? We take it to the model, right? We have to make sure we take it to the model. So this is what I want us to do. So what do we do? So in order to take the user into the model, it needs to be here, right? So we create sample. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to figure out the architecture of like what we want to do. So you come up with an idea of what to do. Yesterday I said it. If you are doing building programs, if you are writing code, you first start with the program, then think through. So what we are doing right now, we are all thinking through how. So we are all thinking through how do you structure the code. So you see line 7, I might put line 7 on line 14. I might put like I'm just it's a thought process, like thought keep doing, keep refining, then you have a very nice program. So just move. So I'm gonna have this over here, you guys and I'll put it here and okay. I'm trying to put it up to okay. So all right, so I think I'm going to do this. Time completions run. Okay. So when I get this, I'm going to do this is user message, something like that, user message. And if you don't get anything, please let me know. If you don't get anything, please let me know. If you don't get anything, please let me know. Okay, so so user message will just take user inputs. Nope, I'm take it back. Okay. So it will take this dictionary. There's a reason. I'll explain after I'm done. Take this dictionary and then this is what I want to do. This over here. And then I'll put user inputs. Receive. I think you want to say something. Okay. So what basically what I've just done is that I'm putting this variable user input, whatever we take from the user, I'm putting it into the user message, and this is what I'll send to the model. So with this C has messages, so we'll I just take this off, and what I'll do, I'm going to do there's this function called append. Oh, I forgot to show you guys yesterday. So user message. Hold on, let me just do this. Message equals to messages. Okay. Messages. So messages. Now messages. Okay. Now you messages. So remember, I mentioned key value pairs yesterday. So let me do message for now. So I'll do this message, and I'll put this over here. Let me just make this straight line. Starting to this, and then user message. Then that's what I'll do. So I'll do message again. If you don't get anything, let me know. I'll explain the entire code. I'm thinking, it's a thought process. I'm thinking and doing. So if you don't get it now, I'll address it. Right. Okay. Right. So message. So message. This message. Dot append. So append is a function that adds. It adds like a list to another list. So I have a long list and I want to add another list to that list. I just do that. So I'm trying to add a user message over here, which is a dictionary, to this like at every time. So I just do user message, then I'll do this, and I'll put this right here. Good. So now our messages is if I try and print this right now, let me see. If I print, so let me see what happens. The code smells up right now, you know. So messages of message, you don't pay for now. But then what I've basically just done is I've added this long list to this longer list. So now it's a very long list. Okay. Now this is what I've done. Every point every point. Okay. Every point. So now we read this this user message. We message that point. And every sample. Okay. Remember, I told you going to use a while loop. You're going to create a chat session. So a chat session, if you're talking, is a button for conversation. You speak to the model speaks to you, speaks to the model speaks to you. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to use while, the while loop. Remember, so while, and for here, since I don't really know how many conversations you're going to have. So maybe you're going to have 5 sessions and you say you want to stop. Then I have 10 sessions. So I'm going to say while tree. And then I'll use a different methods to I'll use a different someone trying to okay. Now I'll use a different method to hello. Okay. Then I'll use a different method to stop if the user wants to stop. So while tree, this is what we're going to do. We'll first ask the user to say something, right? Then what do we do? We'll first also append the user's input to the user messages, right? So proceed. And let's look at this. So we'll ask the user say something to the model. And when the user says something to the model, what we do? We'll put it inside. Then next, what do we do? Next, we have to take that prompt to the API. We have to tell the model, someone is saying this, someone is saying that. So we set. What we just do is completions that we just call this entire. I think I need an error. I need an upgrade. So we just call this function. Right here. Okay. So I think there's an error. Let me see. unresolved reference user message. Okay, where is it? Oh my god. Yeah. So this is when where the thing happens. User message. And so I think everything's right now. Good. All right. So basically what I've just done is we'll start with asking the user what the user wants. Then you append it to the messages and we yes. And then basically what we'll do is the message you have already, you append it, you add what the user said to the message we already have. First of all, this is the message we already have. This is it. Nothing else. Then we add the user what you want to say. We use the input, just with the input function. We use the input to get what the user wants and put it inside this user input. And come over here, user message equals to we this is like how how OpenAI they want to receive the user prompt. So we just make it like that for them. And then we put it over here. Then we append it. Simple like that. Then we take it to the model. So basically this is the function that sends API call to OpenAI, and you're like, oh, I want to use ChatGPT, the model underlying ChatGPT, to analyze this message, give me a response, and then we'll get a response inside completion, right? We'll get a response inside here. And what do we do now? We just print this to the screen. So X. So we just print this to the screen right here. Still inside the function. Okay. Inside the function. We put it right here. So put it right here. Then we print what the model said. But I want us to use something. There's this thing called string concatenation. Concatenation is let me see so this will ChatGPT and then this will be JavaScript. So string concatenation name will be class. It's more of adding variables and strings together. So concatenation. So that's the word. This type of concatenation. So it might sound like a scary word, but it's more of blending variables and then strings together. And then I don't know if Eric is still here. Yes, Eric asked a question about skipping the forest part, the backslashes and all those things. You can actually make it easy by either let's say double quotes and then single quotes. So if you're using double quotes to do your string, you can use single quotes inside your string, then it'll be fine. You don't need to skip them. If you are using single quotes to your string, you can use double quotes inside and then you need to skip them. So we want to get outside. So it's a ChatGPT. So after this is true, it will do again. And then what do? You take the user prompt, take the user message, we append the message, and we do again the message, and we just keep doing, just keep doing. So now let's see. And let's see. In case you want to stop, okay, so user input is simple. In case you want to stop, let's say we are tired of talking to the model, we want to stop. So let's break a condition, like bring a condition where the user can say, I want to stop, then we'll stop. So we just do something like this to say if, just like this. If let's say the user input, the user says stop, the user says stop, like we should stop talking to the model. So user input, and then we have user input is the double quote equals this is stop. And that's my condition. And break. So this is the keyword. If we did it, there's a keyword in Python that will break out of the loop and the word stop the loop. Like I can just go somewhere, let's see. Or even before you even break, let's just say you are done talking to the model, right? So let's say your friends, let's say you are done talking to the model. Let me just do what I should so like this. So you are done. So I bought a single quote inside a double quotes and I didn't have to escape it. So you are done. Okay. Okay. So now see this. If I did this, Eric, can you see? I would love it. If I did this, and I had to escape. I have to do this to escape. I have to do this to escape this put over here. Okay, so, but then I'm using the global code, so I don't have to skip. So I think you're done taking the GPT break, and then you keep going. Let's see. So now let's see. If we get errors, we try and we fix those errors. If not, we see we do other things. Okay. So now when you run it, kind of scared. Okay, so it's asking me user, right? What do I see? So hello, let me click hello. Now let's check. Oh my goodness, this is first. So let's see. Hello, tree background, continue currently, and not function out. So that's how programming is. You get errors and you have to fix. 918. Okay, I can see we're at 18 right now. It's not of type array. Okay. Messages type invalid response. Someone trying to okay, sure. Okay, so this before something just hide this old thing. There is some 918. So what I'm doing is debugging. But I didn't mention it's just trying to fix errors in the code. So basically what I've done, 3 quotes is a block comment in Python. If you want to make block comments, it won't run. So now I want to print my messages and see something. And then okay, so let me just do while x less than 5. Then I'll just do here x plus plus. Then I'll just do x plus plus equals. So I just did, don't worry about it. I just did to end the code when you're running. I just want to see something right now. Yeah, I need to specify the set value for x. Okay. And you see, none. Yeah, hello. I'm going to try again. I'm going to give it for 5 times 50. The next one, please bank position for 17. If you guys can spot the error, you can tell me, right? So it's also from here. 9 type message. 1 message. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. It's my business. Okay. You guys, I made a very big error, and so now I think I can really go back to my. Now run. Actually, the user, beautiful. Can you see it? Also very beautiful. So we have our first one, we have our second one, and then I have like 5 and 3. Our third one, that's beautiful. And then our fourth one is okay. I think we're done. So process finished. Good. Now let's move to this one. Part 2. So block comments. What I did was block comments. This dimension is but then slightly changed. The initial size part 2. So just comment this side out. Okay. So, I think everything's right now. Let me see. So hello. Great. Did you see? Okay. So when this is top. Now process finished. Wait, we're done to create ChatGPT. Okay. Alright, so that was quite easy. So this brings you away. Basically, we're done with the example.
Dixon.
Yep.
So let's run up in the next 2 minutes for the first part of this session.
Okay.
In the next 2 minutes.
Okay, so I'm basically done. So I'm pushing. You have like tons of questions to ask. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So Adolf, they can. I don't want to continue now. I want them to ask questions and I'll continue. So with this API key, I'll change it after here. So don't wait. So if you're planning to see it, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me run through very quickly. So first, I did this install OpenAI to install their library, the Python library, and I did. And now I'm calling OpenAI this function, this class from whatever the root inside what I downloaded. And I specify my API key. Or you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. There are environment variables. So you can just set API key in your environment variables. If you're using other frameworks to help you, depending on what kind of environment you're using. But since I'm not using anything, this code is a standalone code. It's not relying on, the only thing it's relying on is OpenAI's library. So I didn't want the code to rely on other stuff, so I tried to make it standalone as much as possible. That's why I specify my API key over here. Then my messages are true and talking to ChatGPT. So basically that's it. Now let me clear CLC. Let me see. Okay, I think that's pretty fine. Let me try it one more time. So let me see how I can see my screen right now. Okay. So let me run one more time. So I'm running the user. So hello. What is it is syntax? So I don't know why I'm in my head right now. Syntax. So it's processing. So what I'm expecting good. So now ChatGPT says, so the synthesis is the process by which plans, algae, blah 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 blah, do what they want. Now the system is asking me of my other prompt. I say, okay, did you summarize it? You summarize it, and this is what we say. Setting, right? So it's a summary for you. So it's a setting. So the synthesis is the process by which plans, algae, blah blah blah. Okay, I want it in one sentence. So I want it in one sentence. Which I did get in one sentence. So basically what we've done is actually recreate ChatGPT without the burden of learning how the neural networks, all these complex data science stuff work. So they just build a model, they train a model, and we are interfacing with the model. So if you build a UI is like a user interface similar to what ChatGPT has. Basically, that's just what we are doing. So we are just doing this programmatically. But when we build a UI and an interface, you can it's basically no different from what everybody's using. which I think everybody's using. So I think 2 minutes. It's longer than 2 minutes now, so I'm open to questions. I'm teaching a lot of questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. We are so grateful for what you have given to us this evening. And I'm sure most of my colleagues, anyone who is listening or anyone who is following clearly will understand and should know how to input and also how to add ChatGPT to his or her Python code. So we are so grateful for that. Now, in case you have any question, this is the time to ask the question. Okay, so in the next minutes, we'll be opening room for people to ask questions. So please, if you want a question or if you have a question to ask, you can alert me, then I'll give you the opportunity to ask him. So I know Adolf, okay. So in case you have any question, please alert me, then I will call you, then you ask him the question. Please, let's take notes. He has really said a lot, and I'm sure there is a portion you didn't really understand. So if there is such a situation, then please alert me, then I'll give you the opportunity to ask him. So I think one person for now, Adolf. In case you have any question, please alert me so that I can give you the opportunity to ask him. All right, Adolf.
Okay, Sammy, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dixon, for your nice presentation. It's been insightful so far and very educative as well. Now, my question is, before you went on to demonstrate how to use ChatGPT in our program, in the full meaning of the GPT, you said the T is transformer, and then you mentioned that the transformer is based on how the neural network was built. Can you kindly explain what the neural network is?
Okay, so the neural network is just a program that kind of simulates the human mind, the human brain, like the neurons in our heads. So there is this graph, like it's let me show you the thing. It's input and output, and then in between the input and output, there's a lot of processing, like a lot. Let me see if I put our list section. Can you see my browser? Okay, you can see my browser, right?
Yes, please.
So I want to show you a graph. So this graph images exactly see this system. So something like this. See, so input layer, output layer, and then hidden layers. So what happens in the hidden layers is up to you, the programmer. And it's so complex. Not complex as in it's not difficult to make. So okay, so simple terms, how these models are built. I didn't want to go inside because that's kind of too much, but how these models are built. So what makes the model so wonderful is based on the data, like the data is being trained on. The underlying algorithms that created the models are not that complex. What is really complex is the data. So the complexity of the data is being fed into the model, like the code that it's used, like the underlying code that is used to train, like you see, code analyzes data, and it's a back and forth process, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So when you keep doing that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and honestly, our machines can't really run those kind of like computations. It takes like serious GPUs to do that, and they cost a lot of money. That's why not anybody, any organization can just build their own model, like foundational model like that. So the complexity in the data will be fed into the model, going back and forth, back and forth. So you can see you have this large data. Some are 7 billion parameters, some are 13 billion. I think if you look at previous models, some meta. So you meta the AI. So AI and meta is Llama 2. So Llama 2 comes in several sizes. And I think with their list size, you can download it. You can download that model itself. So it's 7 billion, 30 billion, 20 billion. It costs, I think I read this paper. And it takes like it costs me like $2 million to just train the model. And it costs them 12 days. So more like you're running the program for 12 days before the program finishes running. So more like how I interface with ChatGPT and I got my response like almost instantly. You kind of do something and it takes 12 days to get a response. So it's not child's-free. Like I said, the neural networks, oh come on, is a program that simulates the human mind at first. Out of I
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so if there's no more questions, I'll read the other question. This is I'll share this code. You basically have, if you attach a UI, you basically have ChatGPT.
Fortune is on. Fortune, I think Fortune has a question.
Okay.
Fortune, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation so far. I'd like to ask if users are part of the training process for the model that's, the whole ChatGPT model, or it has already been trained and we are just using. And then I also want to know if, apart from Python, do we have libraries in other programming languages that can also be used to access the ChatGPT neural network?
Okay. So it's a model. Okay, so it's an AI model. That's what they call it. Okay. So for the first question, yes, we'll do that right now. We'll do that right now. Just keep in mind. So we can train it like a human being, no matter how much.
Hello, Dixon.
You've been trained in the past, we can still stuff. Oh, I'll quit. I'm sorry, I had a call. Right?
Okay, sure.
So I was answering a question. So I was like, just like a normal human being, regardless of the amount of information you put in your head in the past, you can still put more inside. So with this model that we train on like very huge data, can't even comprehend it. We can still train it. You can still add more information. And we are going to do that right now for you to see how you can fine-tune a model to your specific use case. You can make the model do whatever you want very well, like specifically very well. So, and then what was your last question?
Yeah, so I was asking that apart from Python, when you take other programming languages, maybe PHP or something, do they have their own libraries that we can use to access this ChatGPT AI?
Okay, yes. So I think when I was starting, for OpenAI, they personally provide only for Python and Node. For other languages, I think they need to figure it out themselves. But I wrote one in PHP, so I have a library in PHP that you can use to interface with, not ChatGPT, but Claude. So something like this in PHP, and I think I'll do one for Python very soon. And it's on GitHub. I can share the link. So yes, there are. So currently it's just Node and then for Python. But other developers have developed, like I said, I did one for Claude. So other developers have developed libraries for the interface with the model. I want to show you something. Wait. Can you see my browser?
No, okay, I can see it now.
Okay, so if I go to platform.openai.com, okay, so reference. So API references. See, so this is for Python. Click install Python. So you install the OpenAI library officially from them. And this is for Node. Those people using JavaScript, Node.js. But when it comes here, the CRL, like I said, is platform independent or language independent. So you can use CRL in PHP. PHP has an inbuilt CRL library. There's any language, Golang, any language you want to, Java, any language you want to do. You can just it's just making HTTP request to this endpoint. Okay, so you can even do the HTTP manually. I don't know how, but however, you can make an HTTP request, like send something like a phone call. If you want to do the phone call via YAM to your phone, to your computer, however you want to make this HTTP request to them, you just do it. And this URL, they provided this so that you don't have to worry if you are using, like if you are not using Python or Node. So all this is URL. And then when I went to the chat, and then where is it? OpenAI. So this is Python, right? See, Python node. They just provided for two. But then with this URL, like I said, you can use it anywhere. So, for example, if I come here and I want to show you, like, you want to do Gamboo. Let me open my new tab. If you go to ChatGPT, I want to show you something. Very simple, so you don't have to stress. So make this PHP, right? Don't try and convert the Python directly to PHP because the Python requires, like, they rely on some Python specific library that might not be available in other languages. So make this PHP. So, but the CRL, yeah, there's a CRL library PHP. So now see, very quickly, you have a PHP code. You can basically use it. So the equivalent of the equivalent of this where is it? This Python code, right? It's the PHP code that's provided over here. It seems a lot, but then there are other things that you don't need. Sometimes just you can, yeah. So see, okay. Well, actually, you need everything here. So the CURL is there for other languages. Okay. So you can even pick up like the mountain and do a library for yourself and then you share it to the world. Someone wants to, yeah, Tabi can't talk. If someone wants to the person, like, you don't have to go through the stress of doing it. So yeah, you can do your own libraries for people to use quick results and stuff. Very simple. So yeah, so stop. Then process finish. You are done talking with ChatGPT. So you come up with a very simple parameter. So this is ChatGPT. You can just keep talking to it for however long you want. And then if you want to stop, just say stop. So, and about the training, the making a model learn. So for example, this system, so if a role user system, oh my goodness, did I do this? You should just like I can. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so let me give it my own information. So if you want to ask if you can further train a model or further put it to give the model more information. So if you want to do this, is how you do it. So you can create multiple dictionaries and then put it inside. And make sure the role is system. So there are three unique people in this conversation. There's a system, there's a user, and then there's the kind of simple, a robot. There's a system, there's a user, and then there's a system. So it's called a system. So the model, sorry, the system, the user, and then the assistant. So the assistant is obviously the model. The user is you, the user. And then the system is still you. But the system has more, like, if I say, more power than the user. So the user says A and the system says B, and then we switch this one, we choose what the system says. Okay. So for example, let's say you can only output numbers. So I'm giving you example, you can only output numbers. Output numbers. Numbers alone. So with this one, regardless of what I do to the model, I'm supposed to see numbers. So for example, let's just run it to what doesn't work. Find out where we went wrong. So there's this thing we're blocking. So right, so run it. Right. So now user, if I say 5, I'm supposed to see numbers. So if I don't see numbers, then I'm the model. Okay, so I didn't see, so now there's a problem. So you can only output numbers everyone. Numbers everyone. So you can only output and then details. The only output. So what I'm doing is actually called prompt engineering. Like a certain prompt that will bring it output around. So only output. 1, 2, regardless. Okay, so now let's see again. This is customized. So, let me see what it's big or not. It's beautiful, like easy. So we are trying to like make the model full us. So regardless of what I ask, I'm supposed to get numbers. So I feel what it's good. During the this one has already been trained, we are kind of training into only output numbers. So sorry for the confusion. Here's the output we tested. Okay. Okay. I won't see. I'll put that, but I cannot provide you with output. However, I can help you in my answer. You may have so we kind of like we are closer to but not closer to it. So what I wanted was the model to always output food. Sorry, always output numbers from it. So with that we have to engineer the prompt in a way that the model will get it and then always output numbers. So we tried and we almost got it. So who asked the question? So you can further train the model, you can further impose your whatever you want on the model. But then it won't do sexual stuff, it won't do things like saying how to do an atomic bomb. That's because like OpenAI, there are restrictions and there are policies and there are safety measures they put in place. So there are things you can't do. But then some of the other models are still we can run some time. And the other models are sort of like image models and then the rest. So now I'm be seeing visual stuff. So and then with this I'm using GPT 3.5. Where is it? Wait. So using GPT 3.5 table, you can use GPT 4, which is the more capable model. So now I just have to change this one to 4. And then the models are a lot. Let me show you. Let me show you. Which screen can you see? No. Okay. So, I want to show you the models. I think that will be enough documentation. Sorry. So documentation and some models. So you can see as GPT-4 used for table 2.5 that we blah 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 blah. So let me go to GPT-4. There are so many models, like so many. So this is what we are using right now with GPT-4. And the 32,000, the 32,000, the tokens means like the amount of text you can process at a particular time. So 750 words, it's about 1,000 pages. So if I can process like 1,750 words, that's about 3 pages of my Microsoft Word documents. That's 1,000 tokens. And all their pricing is in 1,000 tokens, blah blah blah, 1,000 tokens. So the cheapest I think is 2.5. So the most expensive is GPT-4. And it's the most serious stuff. Look, you can see this one. So who asked the question? What I can train your model? Like you can further train the model. Who asked it?
That was me, Fortune.
You can now see you can do it, right? You do it in the system form.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You can put it and put your stuff on it. If you don't want to do anything, so you just do empty. So you basically what is that? So basically right now, this is ChatGPT. It's GPT-4. Okay, I didn't try GPT-4, so then you run a GPT-4. So you run and then ask who are you?
Dixon.
Yep, time's up.
No, your time is not up. I just want to know, can we ask it to reply to us in Chi?
Let's see. Okay, let's see. So can you reply? Ani, meti naye. I have to say about you can see, right?
No, I'm like implement it up there. You know when you asked it to reply to everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I get you now. So let's do that. Wait. So send prompts. Only Bad. So how do you use the hello in P? Are you Anna? Are you in Chiawana? How do I? So let me just say stop. So remember we implemented this condition that if we want to stop talking to the model, we just say stop, right? So we just say stop if you want to stop talking to the model, and then we are done talking to ChatGPT. So now let's start and see if we can tweak. So what's the in the system? You can tell me what. Então, thank you. So, so now let's start. I want to think of a tree prompt, and the prompt is not coming. So, how matching?
You remember that other one? You asked it anything, and then it actually replied with digits.
Yeah. So now you want it to reply in P. Like you want me to talk to it in P. Okay. So I've done it. We've done that. I think I've made a same prompt. And let's see. So now I'm talking to T. So let's see what match. Let's see what matching. I have to say about so yeah. How do I even do the yeah. Let me copy this character. Right. So now let's swear. Obviously, as is possible. So this is GPT-4, right? But yeah, middle. I'm not the same. Oh wow, that's cool. A dynamic. Just yeah. Amen. All right. So you can see that. So we are actually interacting with GPT-4 right now. That's open AI multi-problem model. Basically do everything. I even do images and so analyze the images as well. So I don't know. I didn't really. We currently this code doesn't do any file input, file output stuff. We actually do file inputs for us to input files like images for the model to analyze. Then we can do whatever we want with it. So basically, out of you can see I'm speaking to it, the model right now. It basically did in French, in Spanish. It was trained on
like. Yeah, thank you. I can see that.
It was trained on like the world's information. So basically everything that ever existed, you can do it. Yeah. So anything you want to do, any more like stuff like how do I tweak it? I'll share the code so you can have the code personally and then you can do like your personal stuff with it. You can yeah, wow. I know it's wonderful. Guys, I'm waiting for you. Anything you want me to do?
Samuel has raised his hand. Samuel, you can come in.
Okay, great. So mine is not a question, forgive me, but it's more of a thank you message to Dixon for simplifying it. That's one, and to making this available. It's made it really easy for me, particularly with GPT-4, because that's the latest, right? That's the most powerful of the chat of the
The model.
GPTs.
Yeah.
Yes, and be able to access it and use it at my disposal while understanding it. It's really impressive, and I'm really grateful for this and grateful to you, Dixon. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll set a code. I think I'll add a code with the README, and then you can basically play with it, teach with it. Let's do stuff with it. So our next meeting, I think it's the first time. Okay. So our next meeting we'll use this model. We use this model, and then a sample petroleum as use case, something in petroleum. I have it already, but then I don't want to share now. I wish you guys would come up with something, then I will do it. So some petroleum stuff. Okay, let's make this model. You've seen how powerful it is. Can literally do everything. So let's make this model do maybe material balance calculations. Let's make this model do this. Let's make it do analyze the data, do stuff. So we come up with that, and then we can just make the model based. So. So when you come up with something, you could just text me. My email is dixon@oya.com. Let me see. Yeah. Put on my email, and you can send it to me, and then next meeting we'll begin that. So this is just one model. So there are other ones. Then there are other open source models as well. So there's this model, Bezos model, Llama, LLAMA, Llama 2. They've open sourced it. So if you want the underlying source code, and then the results of the source code analyzing the data, you can see, and you can tweak it, you can put your things inside, but then that's a lot. And you might not need to do that. If you want to train your model, you can just train it this way and then personalize it for what you want. Any more ideas? Any more ideas? See how powerful the model is. You can do. Sam. What's Sam?
I think some left us. I think there's no more question. Is there any question, guys? If you have any question, you can just ask before we move on to wrap up. Osebunsu, come in.
Hello.
Hi.
Go ahead, Osebunsu.
My question is not actually related to the program we just
Fine, go on.
coded. Okay, so I wanted to know if you offer remote internship at OAI.
Oh yeah. We have a lot of remote interns. So you send me an email, we'll talk from there. So dixon@oya.com, we can talk from there. Right.
Okay, please. Okay.
Add your name as well, and let me know you are at the program.
Okay.
Any more questions? Magda. Mohammed, are you there? No. Right. So, Sam.
Yeah, some left us.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess there are no more questions.
Yeah,
So
I think
we can wrap up, and then we'll call it a day, and then meet on 23rd for the final session where we are going to create our own project. Okay, good. So let me say thank you to you, Mr. Dixon, for making the time to take us through this training. Like Samuel said, I've also learned so much. I didn't even know it was possible for us to kind of use ChatGPT in our own code. However, you've made it possible. And pardon me for the question I asked, actually. I just wanted to see how powerful it was. That's why I asked whether it could actually speak Chi as well. So I've learned so much and I've seen how powerful this model is. And to you guys too, thank you so much for making time to join us today as well. I sent emails to most of us, but yeah, it turns out they couldn't join. You guys made the time, and thank you so much for your time. I hope your time has been worth it. I hope you learned a lot from this training. Now, the final thing I'll add is the final session, like I said, is on the 23rd of this month. We have more programs to come though, but the final session for the computer programming and AI training is on the 23rd of this month. So if you've joined us through the first day, the second day, don't miss the final session, because that's where we are going to utilize all that you've learned. We are going to build our own project. We are going to have our own project where we will apply this, all that we've learned in the petroleum industry. So another thing is the recorded version. Most of you are asking for the recorded version of this session. We will send them to you via email when they are ready. I'll also add Dixon's email to the email we will send, and we will forward the slides to you as well. So yes, that is that for today. If there is nothing more to add, then I wish you all the best and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.